Hello everyone and welcome back today. So I do apologise for no video in December. Unfortunately, work, life and kind of everything just got too much, and I just wasn't able to kind of find any spare time for myself to actually sit down and record a video. And there was nothing really I kind of had to talk about. And luckily I kind of didn't, because a lot of what I've watched and stuff is stuff I'll be talking about in this video. So these are all kind of recent-ish purchases over the last month and a bit. So let's just kind of get into them, and I'll just give a little bit of a review for them. So the first one is Spookies. So I recently picked this up from Vinegar Syndrome, and I've got to say, I have been trying to get back into Vinegar Syndrome. My problem is obviously I don't know a lot of the titles, and I kind of wait and listen to hear people. But I noticed a lot of their stock, especially some of the Black Friday stuff, was really low, and I wanted to make sure I just picked up like the essential titles I've been after. So I managed to grab a load, and that film had been on my radar for so long, and it doesn't disappoint. It is cheesy 80s fun. That's all you need to know. There is some great creature effects. It's silly. It doesn't really make any sense, but it is a great little film. So the next film I want to talk about is Eraserhead, from the Criterion Collection, no less. So David Lynch has kind of been on my mind a lot lately. I've been kind of going back and kind of reevaluating filmmakers that I may have been too harsh on in my youth. It's like I want to go back and kind of rediscover Alfred Hitchcock as well. I don't think I was kind of ready for those kind of like Alfred Hitchcock, David Lynch, and I don't think I was kind of ready for filmmakers like that. And so I made a conscious effort with this one just to kind of not read it, not do my usual, like, it needs to have a narrative kind of things, and I just sat there and I just let the film tell its story, and I just kind of was the viewer for a change. And it was such an eye-opening experience in how I've always found the film really cold and distant, and this time it felt really warm, and I connected a lot to what it was saying, even though I don't really kind of know what it's saying. And that's not a bad thing, you know. It's one of those, I think it's more of a film that it's a mood piece. It never needed to, you know, you can have these people kind of explain it, or the themes around it. I mean, parenthood's obviously a massive theme within it that's quite obvious, but for me it's just a visual experience, and it was just nice to sit down and have something like that. Next one is Massacre in Dinosaur Valley, and wow, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's everything you want from a Michael Sopke film. He's just this over-the-top action hero. The film is ludicrous, and it has probably one of the greatest plane crashes I've ever seen in a film. I had to share it because it was just incredible. Honestly, I don't want to spoil this film because it is an experience, but if you know kind of Italian cinema, it fits in very well with that. So unfortunately, like, some of it doesn't quite translate too well to now, but it's still a really fun and visceral experience. And I'm pretty sure Lee Tamahori and Eon ripped the ending off for Die Another Day. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So the next one, another one recommended to me. Honestly, the amount of people on Instagram that were recommending this film to me was insane, and that is Fat Man. So I had to pick that up in Tesco. That was like 2 for £8 on DVD. So I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'll check this out. And it's incredible. Like, I love these modern interpretations of Santa. I think the mythology that they've really set up was great. I think that the dynamic between Mel and the woman who actually plays his wife, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, she is brilliant because she was in Fabric, and she's like the main kind of character of that, like for the main kind of two-thirds of the film. She's brilliant, and I just really love the ideas that the film kind of brought into it, like the kind of commercialization of Santa and the workshop. I thought this was really well done, and it's so much fun. So much fun. Not as action-packed as I was expecting, but when the action kind of comes, it's brilliant. So, a lot of fun. More Severin. I think the next ones are going to be Severin, which is Robo War. So this got restocked recently in Strange Vice, and I was like, I'm not passing on this. Basically, Predator meets RoboCop. What's not to love? And this is just absolutely fucking insane. Love that film. Next one, and I managed to watch this one with my dad, was Jaws 5, aka Cruel Jaws, which comes with this beautiful little slipcover. Just bear with us. Yeah. So I'm always surprised when I get the slipcovers, because obviously in the UK they're not really kind of designed for us, or I know a lot of the it's usually like Severin online exclusives, but luckily they do send a few over. So whenever I get them, I'm always happy. That film is insane. I love it. I truly love it. I'm not with the Jaws franchise. I kind of go backwards. I prefer like Jaws, like Cruel Jaws, Jaws 4, 3, 2, and then 1. 1 never has really intrigued me. Maybe I saw it at a later age where I didn't really kind of connect to it, or have that moment with the film where it was really scary and intense, and where I could have that nostalgia for it. I've always kind of dealt with the film as it is, and it just never really interests me. And I love the sequels because they just throw everything to the wall, and that's no exception. That film is just brilliant, and it's so much fun. And seeing it kind of hodgepodge from other films as well, I would definitely recommend watching the special features and hearing all the kind of behind the scenes of the film. Really good. So this is officially my final Severin that I'll be talking about, and that is the Lindsay Baker collection. So with this one, I was really excited to kind of finally see this set. I had my eye on it for a while, and the films are really interesting. I didn't quite like them as much as I thought I would, and that's because I think that they're actually really good. It's a weird thing with me in Italian films, which is I love really bizarre, strange Italian films. I think that there's a lot of fun and enjoyment out of them, but when a lot of them are really good and serious, but they use elements I don't like, aka dream logic, I kind of don't connect as strongly to them. But the thing is what I'm really excited about with this set is it features 3 of my favourite people who discuss films, and that is Alexandra Hella Nicholas, Kat Ellinger, and Sam Deegan. They all do commentaries for the first 3, and I cannot wait to delve into them, because they love these films, and they love each film that they're talking about, and I want to hear their perspective and their context on the film, because all 4 films are very quite similar, and I think me watching them so close together as well, that was kind of, it wasn't the best idea, but I wanted to, obviously, I was really wanting to just delve into that box set. My personal favourite from that was A Knife of Ice, which was the final one. I thought that really felt like the summation of what they were all trying to do, like Lindsay and Baker were trying to do in the other 3. So it's definitely a set. If you can get it, I would really recommend it, because they are really well made. More sexual thrillers than giallos, but they're very, very good. And I really do recommend them ones. So the next one is He Came from the Swamp. the William Greffy collection. As soon as that got announced, I was really kind of interested because I've been getting into a lot of like regional filmmaking through AGFA and other companies. And that set just interested me. The titles of the films, just everything really interested me. And with that set, I kind of walked away a little bit disappointed, but not like how I normally am sometimes with Arrow box sets, especially the Arrow Academy box sets. And it's not that the film's fault. I think my thing is when you watch Sting of Death and the Death Curse of Tartu, they're more the films I was expecting, and they're the two films I love the most, and I really had such a blast with them. And then when you kind of get into the other ones, they're more realistic, they're more kind of action adventure kind of films, and they're good, especially, I mean, with the Psychedelic Priest and the Hook generation, they're very more obviously like the drug exploitation, but the Psychedelic Priest feels like it was made up kind of on the spot, and when you hear the documentary material, it's it's pretty evident that they didn't really have a script and things like that. I don't think it's a bad film, I just don't think everything quite worked for me. But again, this is another set. The documentary material, the booklets, the everything are just blew me away. And that's the thing, and this is what I like about these sets and these companies, is that they're, even though the film may not land, there's still plenty there for you to enjoy and understand and experience as a film goer, or someone on their film journey. It's really incredible, and it may sound like I'm being negative, and I'm not. I don't want to be, because even though, with that William Greffy collection, I walked away and really loved two films, I think seeing the other films, now I've got that first initial viewing out of my head, right, cool, I can go back to it and appreciate it for what it is, instead of kind of what I thought it would be. So, and then you've got that wealth of documentary material. I think there's like a nearly 2 hour, 20-minute documentary on William Greffy himself, which is incredible. A beautiful little documentary. And then you've got all the extra material, the commentaries, and I'm really ready to kind of delve into those. So, big thumbs up from me. If you can get it, I would get it. And the final film was a film I practically wrote off from the trailer. And I did this with Aladdin, where the trailer for both films was so bad that they had an element in the trailer that was so bad, I was like, I can't watch this. But with Aladdin, what I found was the worst thing in the trailer was the best thing in the film, which is Will Smith. And with this, I really just didn't see the point of remaking it. I don't like Nicholas Roeg as a filmmaker, personally. I find the films very cold, disconnected. And so when they announced that they were kind of doing a CGI Anne Hathaway-led kind of remake, I was like, are we going down this route again? But I've got to say, I watched The Witches, and I actually loved it. I actually think it's better than the original. I think what I love more about the remake is the kind of tonal balance. I found Nicholas Roeg had gone way more for the kind of dark, mysterious kind of horror aspects of the story, whereas Robert Zemeckis has a brilliant balance of the horror and the comedy. There is a moment in the film near the end where I was like on the edge of my seat, and the film's a PG. Like, I was really like, it's beautifully crafted moment, but even I was getting kind of anxious, going, oh, what's going to happen? So it really, really surprised me. So that's what I've watched this month, and I have hauls in, I have hauls coming, so you will be seeing some of that stuff over the next couple of months. And Obviously, I just want to wish everyone a happy 2021. Let's hope it kicks butt. I hope you enjoyed this delve into some recent watches of mine, and I will see you on the next one.